The last third of life can be the most honest of all. They told you life peaks at 30. They lied. The best part of life isn't youth. It's the part where you stop apologizing for being alive. You spend half your life trying to be somebody. And then one day, you wake up and realize you already are. They don't tell you this, but life doesn't get honest until the end. Not when you're young, not when you're successful, but when the world stops asking you to prove anything, and you finally stop trying. When you're young, you perform. You don the masks: student, spouse, parent, achiever. You learn to smile when you're tired, to nod when you're doubting, to carry roles like armor. But something shifts as the years accumulate. Not all at once, but like a tide going out, revealing what's always been there, just beneath the surface. And what remains? Not always prettier, but truer, simpler, more whole. Lesson 1. You stop performing for people who aren't listening. You begin to notice how much time was spent trying to be understood by people who weren't really paying attention. You remember conversations where you smiled politely while shrinking inside. Relationships that ran on obligation, not connection. Decisions shaped more by approval than desire. But in this final third, you start to let it go. You stop over-explaining. You stop apologizing for your boundaries. You realize silence is a language too. And peace is a better friend than praise. It's not about bitterness. It's about energy and where you're willing to spend it now. Lesson 2. Time becomes sacred, not scarce. You don't race the clock anymore. You sit with it. You watch it pass like clouds instead of bullets. There's no longer the urgency to fill every hour. Instead, there's reverence for a good cup of tea, for a walk that has no destination, for a phone call where no one checks the time. Time isn't scarce anymore. It's sacred. And the irony is, when you start treating it that way, you actually feel like you have more of it, because you're finally spending it on what matters. Lesson 3. You make peace with the you that came before. You look back differently now, not with the same ache, not with the same need to fix or justify, just gentler eyes. You remember the decisions you made when you were scared, and you understand them. You forgive the version of yourself who didn't know better, who thought the job, the marriage, the house would make her whole. You stop rewriting the past and start recognizing how much of it was already trying to teach you something. Even the painful parts, especially the painful parts. Lesson 4. You let go without needing to win. There's a freedom that comes when you stop needing closure. When you realize that not every wound gets stitched, not every misunderstanding gets clarified, not every goodbye comes with a neat explanation, and somehow that becomes enough. You stop needing to be right. You stop needing to be remembered a certain way. You just want peace. And in that wanting, you finally find it. Letting go used to feel like losing. Now it feels like making space. Lesson 5. Simplicity becomes beautiful. In the first 2/3, we want more progress, more things, more affirmation, more answers. But in the last third, we start to want less, not out of lack, but out of wisdom. You want mornings with light coming through the window. You want meals that feel like prayers, not performances. You want clothes that fit comfortably, conversations that don't require armor, friendships that don't exhaust you. You don't care how it looks on the outside. You care how it feels. And when the noise drops away, what you're left with is what's always mattered: warmth, truth, and the grace to enjoy both. Lesson 6. You stop asking for permission to be who you are. There's a moment, often quiet, often late, when you stop waiting for someone else to say, "It's okay to be this version of you." You stop shrinking to fit other people's comfort. You stop dressing your soul in something more polite. You say what you mean. You mean what you say. You let your laugh be too loud, your sadness be too real, your presence take up space. And it's not rebellion, it's arrival. You're not becoming someone new. You're finally being someone true. Lesson 7. You want to leave love, not a legacy. You used to wonder what people would remember you for. Now you just hope they remember your kindness. You realize that legacies aren't built in boardrooms or bank accounts. They're built in moments, in how you made someone feel seen, in the phone call you returned, in the forgiveness you offered before it was asked. You start to care less about being impressive and more about being present. And suddenly, love feels like the only thing worth leaving behind. There's this quiet realization that sneaks in sometime after 60. You're not climbing anymore. You're not accumulating, not proving. You're softening, unlearning, opening, and somehow that feels more honest than anything that came before. You're not building a life, you're living one. And in that living, you're becoming not someone else, but someone more fully you than ever. This isn't the end, it's the unveiling, not a closing chapter, but a quieter one, where the sentences are slower, the meaning is deeper, and the pauses are part of the music. You are not fading, you are distilling, becoming simpler, clearer, and, in many ways, more radiant than ever. The world may not notice, but your soul does, and it says, This is who I was always meant to be." So, if you're in this final third, if the mirror has changed, and the pace has softened, and the striving has grown still, know this: you haven't missed anything. You haven't lost your worth. You've only just arrived at the part where you can finally tell the truth to yourself, to others, to the life that has shaped you. And if someone asks what this season is about, you can smile and say, "I'm not trying to be impressive anymore. I'm trying to be real, and it's the most honest I've ever been."